Hello, everybody. Welcome to Random Thoughts. This is Proteus Chris. This is my random thoughts. And let's see, we're heading down the highway today, heading up for a scheduled pickup for Lyft. I'm heading out a little early, but you never know what the traffic's going to be, so you probably want to get an early jump on it. And let's see what we can get into on the traffic today. As you can see, I am using a StreamYard, which I I kind of like this one. I like using this one because it doesn't use as much battery power and it doesn't overheat my phone as much. So it seems to be a better option. If I ever get in a position, I might pay for the annual fee for the upgrade so I can change to a personal logo and have some more features. But as of right now, this seems to be a good option to use. I like that it has my name down in the corner and along with the date. That's always nice. And I have to admit, I am surprised when I saw the story that Trump actually attended his son's graduation. I did not expect him to do that. I really didn't. I thought he would ditch that kid uh, as quickly as he could, which that, uh, well, actually, he kind of did still end up ditching the kid. But he did, because he did ditch him to go to a fundraiser as soon as the graduation was done, or the ceremony anyway. He didn't stay for any of the afterwards. Um, which, normal people, normal graduation is like an all day thing, sometimes all weekend. And, well, they celebrate with their kid the whole day. Uh, yeah, it'd be one thing if Barron and Melania went with him to the fundraiser, because that would be something showing that Barron has an interest in doing that, but they didn't go. They don't have an interest in it. They don't care. They don't want nothing to do with it. Barron turned out to be a what is it, delegate or whatever it was for the RNC. Yeah, he turned that. He didn't want nothing to do with that. He didn't want nothing to do with it. His mother didn't want him to have nothing to do with it. Says a lot. Says a whole lot. Melania definitely didn't want to be in that version of the public eye. She wanted to be a celebrity, but she didn't want to be a politician. She wanted to be like a supermodel that everybody looks at and thinks is sexy and hot and all that, and really don't get into your personal life as much. When you're a politician, they do kind of dig into everything you've kind of gotten into, and she did not like that part. Yeah, she was not happy with that at all, and that was interesting. The and the fact that, well, leaked video, the audio tapes and stuff of her talking, you can tell she did not like being first lady. She did not want to do it. She didn't want to be there. She didn't want to fool with all the responsibilities. She didn't want to maintain the image that was required. She just didn't want to have nothing to do with any of that. And well, her husband kind of pushed her into it. Well, pretty much forced her into it because she didn't get a say in the matter, from what I could tell. She used Barron as an excuse not to go to the White House after he won. Had it back and forth with one of my friends. He keeps saying that both the Democrats and the Republicans are the same. He has a disdain for all of it, which I don't understand on some level, because he is disabled. He's really bad off. He barely can walk, and which I keep pointing out to him. There is one party wants to take away his benefits, the other party doesn't, and he just. But he doesn't really follow it as close as he thinks he does. He gets obsessed with the certain aspects. I mean, he hates Trump, but that's easy to do. Trump is a despicable person, but he sees both parties wanting to take away his benefits, even though that's not true. One party wants to expand his benefits, the other one wants to take them away completely. Somebody sent him a somebody in social services, he says, which I kind of doubt it came from social services, but I didn't see the letter, so I can't say for sure. Said they sent him a letter stating that one of his benefits was ended by Joe Biden because they put Joe Biden's signature at the bottom of the letter, like Joe Biden signs a letter to every person that's sent out to. I mean, honestly, and it had something to do with food stamp. Food stamp. And I remember now. It's the age thing for. They changed the age. There's a thing where you qualify for food stamps for if you're like, I think it's 52 years old here in Virginia. Um, but they also, you also have to meet the income requirement. But uh, Joe Biden doesn't do anything. That's not a federal program. That is the state. I keep trying to explain to him that food stamps are a state program. Okay, we are now on I-77. Some people are under the. Yeah, I don't know why some people are under the impression that food stamps, the SNAP program, is a federal program. There is some federal money that goes into it, but the states decide their rules for it. It's not a thing where, the Fed don't really have much say in it. They can maybe put a couple of guidelines on it, to some extent, or some requirements to the federal money part of it. But ultimately, it's a state program. But and now there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions for that program. As far as the federal, they they did put some money into the system that gave kids that went to public school so much money. That was during the pandemic. They unfortunately let that expire. I wish they put that back into play personally, where the kids could get that back. But where kids, I think it was $120 per kid, which was very helpful because I have one per kid. It's $120. I think it was $120 per child, which helped a lot. A lot of people, helped a lot of families during some hard times. But they let that expire. That is gone. The federal money of that dried up, but it was still managed by the state. But the thing the Fed put on it, on that particular thing of food stamps, no income. There was no income requirement or cap on that. So it didn't matter how much you made. If your kid was in public school, you got these food stamps, which is something I think should be a thing. What gets me is that could be done regularly. They could do that easily. This is something that could be permanent. They could easily do that. Actually, I did the math on it, and it's not even I don't think it's even 10%. Okay, I did the math on the annual budget on that. You wouldn't even hit a 10% of what our military budget is. Oh yeah. This is something that could have been done permanently. We could have had this as a permanent program, so kids could have food. So our military budget is through the roof, and and hopefully, I wish that we get some people in there to take care of this. And unfortunately, we're not in a position to do that at the moment. Hopefully, that changes eventually, and we get some people in that can get out here and fix this issue and get some real change involved. Like I said, I'm out on a. I got to take. Uh, oh, I forgot to take my medicine. My I can't even pronounce it. It's gabapentin, something. It's a neuron type medicine. for the nerve damage in my arm. Really sucks. I hate taking it. It has some side effect that affects that's causing problems with my vision eventually. Ever since I started taking it, I've actually had to wear my glasses, so that sucks. But that's the way it is. Well, I don't know if I'm getting a good stream right now or things went out. Let's see. Well, it says I'm live, but who knows? There's tower right there. I should have plenty of signal. Anyway, I had some interesting riders. I had some young couple they rode, and I had to bite my tongue when the girl said that I love being in the mountains out here where it's flat. There's a mountains way over in the distance, but there ain't no mountains like here. Like, really? But I didn't say a word. I just kept my mouth shut, kept driving, looking ahead, not saying anything. I thought it was funny, trying not to laugh. Didn't say a word during that when that couple was talking. Not my conversation. Now, if they ask me directly stuff, I'll answer, but I try not to get involved in other people's conversations. Sometimes I butted in when I first started this, but I've learned to just kind of keep my mouth shut. Let them ramble on, and if they ask me a question directly, then I'll say something. Otherwise, stay out of it. I'm not their friend. I'm not their buddy. They're probably not going to see me again. Oh, got some. Not getting a good internet connection on. I wonder why the internet's so weak out here today. It's hard to say. It does this from time to time. But I've rambled on enough about Mr. Trump. Let's see what else is going on today. Well, the traffic seems to be okay, or at least moderately okay. Of course, I'm out early on a Saturday, so shouldn't expect a whole lot right now. Later, I'm going about 10 o'clock after I do my scheduled run here. I'm going to go with the family to watch a movie, and then I'll start back to work after the movie. Probably either going to see If or Despicable Me 3. I'll let them pick because those are the two that start at 10 o'clock. I'm okay with seeing something else if it starts about that time because, well, that's when it's slow and there's not a lot of work during those hours anyway. So going and watching a movie as early as possible is actually feasible and something to be looking into. And we go out to the Regal movie theater. It's a nice theater. Boy, they have some really fancy stuff in that theater. The surround screen is awesome. If anybody wants to watch a good movie, I definitely recommend some of the Regal theaters. Look and see if they have the what's it called? RPX, I think is what they're calling it. It's a very interesting. It has screen goes around you. You got like 180-degree screen almost, It's very inclusive. See, now that guy there, look at that. Driving like that through here, not a good idea, dude. Not a good idea. Cops are all over the place here. You just booking it down through here. Ain't gonna. You could end up sitting side of the road. You lost all that time you would have. The whole 2 minutes you might have saved, which is what you're saving by driving like that. Roughly, maybe 2 minutes at best. Best case scenario. Won't do you any good to drive that fast and then get busted. And then he had to slow down anyway because he has to get behind this big truck to go off the internet, go off to the interstate, what he needs. Honestly, that is crazy and stupid, crazily stupid. But there he is. Oops. Yeah. Yes, I do mess up words on occasion. Doing this live on the fly is despite what people think, this is not an easy thing to do, especially when you're doing stuff off not on a script. And I also have a hard time speaking because I nearly bit my tongue off 2 years ago when I had my emergency surgery and I was under anesthesia. And now it's harder to talk, actually, because the tip of my tongue doesn't feel right and doesn't move the way it's supposed to or the way it used to. So some words enunciating, I have to concentrate to make it work the way I want it to. It took like 7 months before I actually had feeling in the tip of my tongue of any kind, and the imprints of my teeth went away. It was bruised for almost 6 to 7 months, somewhere around there, and that was brutal. I had my arm out of my cast before my tongue started feeling somewhat normal. Also, it messed up my taste buds. Things I used to like now taste like cardboard. And now I've had to change my diet has completely changed to a lot. I changed a lot of different things. I started eating different foods because I just had to find something I could actually taste. I couldn't taste certain things. And that was something that was a bit of a challenge and a bit of a pain, to be honest, because you didn't know what you were going to find. And my doctor told me to start eating more fish and seafood and chicken and turkey, which I have done, to be fair. And we are now on Interstate 81. Up to the right, we have Loves, the big heart coming out of the fog. It's $3.29 for gas there. which is on the low end around here lately. We see Western Express up ahead there. That's one of the bigger trucks that's on the interstate in front of me. We've got the cruise control set, and we will cruise on down through here. See what we see. I don't know if the troopers will be out this early in the morning. They could be. I've seen quite a few blue light specials yesterday. We had that big burst of flood. I did a little bit of a short. The only reason I put 15 seconds of music at the first of it is that's all it'll let me do. If it let me do more, I would put more, but it will not let me have more than 15 seconds. I don't know why. I've tried everything that you're supposed to do to try to increase that, and it will not let me put more than 15 seconds. Ever. Now, here's a person that was trying to go around me by going to the side and not using a turn signal. And they got one of those little "I'm an asshole" flag in the back. These people that have the American flags up are the most self-entitled people I've seen for the most part. They don't seem to. I'm not saying. Well, I'm assuming there has to be some nice people that also do it, but most of the people that have that I've seen, they seem to be so full of themselves and they feel like they are entitled to everything, and they just jerks for the most part. Especially here on the highway. There are a lot of the ones that are driving like, well, that person, just switching lanes without giving a turn signal, not paying attention to what's around them, riding people's bumpers, that sort of thing. You're not supposed to drive like that. That's the kind of people that drive. That kind of driving is what leads to accidents. I don't think these people ever even paid attention to what's on the road in front of them. I mean, they really don't seem to have paid attention. It seems like they pay attention to anything. My wife says she's taking one of her friends to the DMV to take her driver's test this morning. The paper part, not the driving, the actual driving on road test. She's trying to get her learner's permit. Not sure why this grown woman with 2 kids waited this long to even try to get her driver's license. But at least she's going to try. I wish her the best. Well, like I said, well, I'm hoping that she can get her license. That it was help her out a lot. She needs to be able to drive. She's got 2 kids. She don't make sure that those kids. I mean, well, something happens to her. Now, what happens if something happens to one of those kids and her husband's at work? She can't get, he had to wait for him to get home, take kid to the hospital. I mean, can't be doing that. It's not a good idea anyway. I saw some. There's people that keep putting these memes on Facebook where they're trying to bash electric vehicles, and they keep trying to show people using generators to make electric vehicles work, which they don't have a clue on how electric vehicles work. Uh, what they don't understand, right now we don't have a good infrastructure, but that's changing. We're getting more and more infrastructure in place for electric vehicles. It will grow. Now, one of the things they're looking at, and if they ever get this up and going, is the charging lane on the interstate. Now, once they get the wireless charging capacity put into these electric vehicles, you will be able to, you can continue driving and charge your vehicle at the same time on one of those lanes. Now, you can't refuel your gas vehicle while you're driving, but you can recharge your electric vehicle while you're driving in the future once those things are in place. And as I understand it, in Europe, they've already got some of them up and going. So imagine when that becomes the norm. And then there's one person had put a thing up. I saw. I had to try to look this person up again. They don't really understand how any of it works. They think that an electric vehicle uses 350 kilowatts an hour. The electric vehicle, as far as I can tell, there's not an electric vehicle that has a 300 kilowatt hour battery. The biggest one that I could find was 220, I think 222, 29 kilowatt hour battery, and that's in like the Dodge Ram electric truck, which gets about almost 500 miles out of that battery. So these people are putting stuff up and they don't even know what they're talking about. Yeah, but there is a 350 kilowatt hour charging stations. I think 300. I don't know if it goes to 350 or not, but there are these high end charging stations, but they don't. Here's the thing. If you have an 80 kilowatt battery, it only uses 80 kilowatts. All it does is charge really fast. That they don't understand how any of that works. It just charges extremely fast. It doesn't use the full 350 kilowatts. And they were under the impression that a normal house only uses 1.2 kilowatts. an hour. Well, that's if you don't have a washer and dryer. A dryer alone uses, on average, 3 kilowatts an hour. So if you're using a dryer, you're going to use, and depending on how long you use it, every hour uses 3 kilowatts. And that's just the dryer. That's not counting all the other stuff that's running in the house. Now, there are some that's a little more energy efficient that won't use that much, but the low end is 1.8. And that's still more than 1.2. The insanity of these people and the just not understanding how math works is amazing to me. The guy's also a flat earther, I think. He seems to think the Earth is flat. He doesn't understand science at all. He thinks the Earth is only 6,000 years old. Yeah, he believes in all the crazy conspiracy theories. Oh, and he's also against vaccines. Big shocker. I just happened to run into this wackadoo on Facebook. Then I went and looked at his page and saw all the crazy stuff he believes in. Oh my God. He's also an evolution denier. He says we can't prove evolution, even though, fossils. We literally have what you would call hard evidence for evolution. Fossils. Fossils exist. We can see them. We can see them. We can touch them. And there's Radford. I'm not going there today. I don't know if I'll have anything down in Radford today. I'll probably end up with a couple of rides down there. I usually get a couple that go down through there. One of the places I've been delivering people to was a place called the Wine Lab. And that's an interesting concept there. The college kids like to go there, but they're out till next week. They'll start coming back in, I think, next Thursday. They'll start probably next Wednesday. They'll probably start coming back in, and we'll see a lot more of them because the summer session starts back up. So there'll be a few of them coming in. Then we'll see. We'll see quite a few of them on when the plane rides come back. The things will pick back up a little bit. It's a little slow this week because of them all being gone to home. There's not as many students on campus. I picked up a couple of guys that were there for a conference, apparently, and they were financial guys. They were talking stock exchanges and how to figure that stuff up. And they were talking about Bitcoin, and the way they describe how it worked. I just said that sounded like a pyramid scheme. And they agreed. That's what it is, a pyramid scheme, because they thought Bitcoin was a scam because it has no actual value outside of the fact that people say it has a value. There's nothing physical that has value to it. they were talking about businesses how to determine whether a stock was worth it by determining how much a business is actually making in the real world. Like, how much business does the business do? How much profit are they bringing in from the product or service they are selling? Like they were talking about a certain restaurant, something I'm not familiar with, uh, which I'm not sure which one. It's some restaurant from where they are. It's a some. I've never heard of it, so it sounded like a nice restaurant as far as it goes, the way they described it, but I don't know much about it. But they were talking about how it was overpriced because of the ratio of income to what the market is selling the shares for. And they thought that eventually the market will probably correct on that. But it's popular right now because of it's doing good right now because of popularity. People like it, so people are buying the stock. But eventually that could cool off, and anybody buys the stock, they're going to be, if they don't sell, before it cools off, they could be left holding with a stock that's not worth what they paid for it, which that is a risk. And you kind of look at uh, what they pointed out was, ooh, Jesus, dude, these big trucks, he about to come over from me, probably trying to pee. Anyway, they were talking about when you're doing the stock, you have to be aware of what the earnings of a company is and what they're bringing in. And it looks like they are not bringing in enough to justify the amount the stock is. I followed it a little bit. I didn't understand everything they were saying because they were using some of their work jargon. But yeah, it was. And I just didn't say nothing until I dropped them off. Uh, Once they mentioned that, as I was getting ready to drop them off, that's when I mentioned the whole thing sounded like, with Bitcoin, sound like a pyramid scheme. But I'm not a financial person. I don't know much about the financial stuff. I'm more of an electronics kind of guy. So, I mean, if you want to wire up a circuit, I'm your man. I can do that for you real easy. But talking about finances the way they were, no, I really couldn't follow that. Uh, but yeah, those Amazon trucks, they run their people too hard. No company to work for. Apparently, they also do deliveries. Amazon Flex, where they use drivers. I'd hate to think Walmart treated their drivers horribly. I hate to think how Amazon treats their drivers. I want to bet that they're much worse than Walmart, and Walmart was not good. Yeah, I am almost It's almost time I need to sign into my Lyft app to get ready to pick up my uh, passenger soon. Uh, as I understand it, I have to be on 30 minutes before the pickup. It's at 9 o'clock. So it is getting close to that time. I have hit, wow, what is it? 45 minutes? Wow, I've been rambling for quite a while today. Usually only go 30, but today I apparently had some talking to do today, apparently. Before I go, and just to get back on some about Trump and Biden and the upcoming debate, it looks like Trump is already trying to figure out how to weasel out of the debate. He wants drug testing. This is where I differ with Trump. I want mandatory drugs. I want these men cranked up on whatever they can get them pumped up with, and just for our entertainment. Crank them full of what? Now, safely. I don't want to give them heart attacks or anything because they are old. But they need to, whatever they can give them that's safely to get them juiced up and let us have some fun. Let us see these people cranked out of their mind if at all possible. I'm of the opinion, let's put them in a boxing ring, put some gloves on them, and see let them wail on each other. I'm just about to that point with their politicians. But anyway, that was my last little bit of rambling. Like I said, I would love to see these people. Love to see. I love to see Joe Biden and Donald Trump juiced up and on stage going at each other. That would be hilarious. Two old men, just whatever. I mean, they just start screaming at each other. But Trump realized he made a mistake in agreeing to this debate with Biden when he realized that they were going to cut his mic off. Cutting off his mic will cause him a problem because that's his thing. He cannot actually debate. When he tries to debate, he loses because he doesn't know anything about the topic or any topics. All he knows to do is overtalk his opponent and not let them speak. He just won't let them talk. That's how he wins. That's how, in his mind, he wins the debate. He didn't let them talk, so therefore he won. That's not how debates work. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you probably tomorrow.
And I'm good. Let's go. Oh, got my drawers.